If you're looking for the cheapest and most reliable Madden 22 coins on the market, check out my sponsor, MMOEXPR.com. Links are in the description, and use code JEDI at checkout for 5% off. Alrighty, hey there guys, Casa here, aka JediBro95, coming at you guys with another video, and in this video is going to be another video in my Christmas video list, and in this video, guys, is going to be ranking the top theme teams in Madden 22, so obviously, this is just to help those guys that are coming new to the game, that want to make, they want to make a theme team. Well, I'm going to rank these in the order that I see are, like, the best theme teams in the game to down to the worst. Now, I want to stress every single theme team in this video is going to be considered as a pure theme team, not 50 out of 50. So just as the whole depth chart in and of itself, going to like 57, 58 chemistry, for example, that's how the team will be judged. It will not be judged based on the based on 50 out of 50, because when you do get 50 out of 50, you can make some holes in the fill some positions and whatnot. So anyways, guys, let's start off with just go in order for this list. So we have the Tennessee Titans. And Tennessee Titans, I'm actually going to put in the B tier, honestly. We go down to the Titans lineup. Their quarterback is, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Is not very good. Hopefully they do get a Ryan Tannehill card at some point. But they also got Marcus Mariota, who actually does come with built-in escape artist and fast break, and he also has evasive too, and you can also get some good X factors too. So Marcus Mariota is a good a good back, but this is definitely a good run team. Derrick Henry and Kari Blasingame. Receivers, you got Randy Moss, Andre Johnson, Julio Jones, which are okay. I think Randy Moss with the theme team cam powered up has like 97 speed. Yeah, Randy Moss, 97 speed, that's okay, but there's a lot of receivers that are like 98, 99 right now. Offensive line is great. They just got a new Quentin Spain today with the LTD, and then Kevin Mawai on Monday. By the way, I'm recording this video on the 18th, so I'm recording this a week before Christmas. Cornerback, for the defense, though, the defensive ends, the tackle, the defensive line, you can definitely throw Jadeveon Clowney over here. Outside line, the linebacker core is okay. Rashad Evans is all right. Like, you see where this team is definitely lacking in the quarterback in the front seven, more or less. Cause yeah, after Al Woods, they got a new Tier Tart, but when did he come out? Actually, I think he was no, he's a zero chill player, right? Yeah, he was a stocking stuffer. He was a stocking stuffer for the Tennessee Titans. So, but yeah, like, they're obviously lacking in, like, the front seven. Obviously, Bud Dupree is not the best rushing linebacker. He only has, like, 86 speed, so 88 with the theme team. That's not bad, but there's better outside linebackers. So that's why I do have the Titans in the B tier, because their receivers are a little bit they're still good, but they're a little on the slower side. Then you have but you still have Derrick Henry, who's one of the best backs in the game. But the quarterback position is just definitely not that good. Miami Dolphins. Let's look at them next. Miami Dolphins, they have Dan Marino. Now, Dan Marino was the he was the team diamond master, so he does get every team cam, but he was a Dolphin. So Dan Marino, who gets pass, lead, elite, and gun hot route master. Philip Lindsay, never knew who he played for the Dolphins, to be completely honest, but you got a great 1-2 punch in Reggie Bush and Philip Lindsay. Fullback, you get a big guy in Larry Zonka and Robert Hunt. Wide receiver, you got some of the better wide receivers. Devontae Parker, I think, is 97 speed on the, he's 97 speed with the, in the zone for the deep route specialist for the wide receivers, and he has, for the Dolphins cam, he has 97 speed. Has some solid route running too, 93, 91, and 90 for the route run. Great catching stats all the way around. Brandon Marshall's LTD is one of the best receivers in the entire game, in my personal opinion. Will Fuller, I think on this team, has 98 speed. Yeah, he's 98 speed on this team, which is still pretty good for a 93 overall. Now you also see Mike Gesicki. He's okay as a tight end. Junior Seau, you can't really get him anymore because he was the Season 1 collectible, and you can't get the Season 1 collectible anymore. But pass rush wise, Emmanuel Ogba is solid. Christian Wilkins is a good DT. You got Jason Taylor and Ndamukong Suh, who actually, fun fact, does go for all NFC teams as well, but he actually did play for the Dolphins a few years ago, so he does get Dolphins cam. But Ndamukong Suh, Jason Taylor, good pass rush, good, Jalen Phillips is a solid card. He's a Gridiron Forge player. You actually can power bypass his thing with training. You don't have to get the card because he was a Gridiron Forge player a month ago. As you see right here, he was the Gridiron Forge player. But now you can just bypass it with a training, with training points. So, but Jalen Phillips is still pretty solid. Joey Porter is also like the Dolphins have some good pass rush. The Dolphins have one of the better pass rush in the game. Cornerback wise is not looking the greatest. Byron Jones is a 96 speed. In this game right now, it's not the best. Jason McCourty has also 96 as well. And then you have Bobby McCain with 95. Yeah, like the cornerbacks are definitely lacking for the Dolphins, but they did get Mika Fitzpatrick, who is fantastic free safety, by the way. Here is his stats. 98 speed on the Dolphins team. So for the Dolphins, I'm going to put them in C. Their cornerbacks are definitely lacking. Their corners are lacking, but they have arguably the best QB in the game. Good, solid weapons for the receivers, not the greatest. And then offensive line, it's okay. They definitely need some help there, but their secondaries was really dragging them down. Next we have from alphabetical on this, at least on this, the Cleveland Browns. Let's look at Cleveland. So Baker Mayfield for their quarterback. Like Baker's not that good. But you also have Willis McGahee and Nick Chubb, who are some solid backs. Wide receivers, Miles Austin, who came out like a few months ago, 96 speed, fully powered up with the Browns theme team cam. And then you got Emmanuel Sanders. Now he does get every AFC team cam. He is the AFC team player, but he for the Turkey Bowl. If you do the Turkey Bowl challenges, guys, and you get about 120 some odd stars, I think is what it is, you actually get a you actually get a Turkey Bowl player that can get either AFC or NFC cam. Now, Emmanuel Sanders is for the AFC, and the Ndamukong Suh is for the NFC. So keep that in mind. I did mention that in the video going over for the challenges, but it's a good way to start your team. But even then, 95 speed for Emmanuel Sanders on the Browns team. Tight end Ozzie Newsome, what is his stats? I think his stats 89 speed, so it's about a 91 speed tight end, which is okay, not the worst. But offensive line, usually the Browns offensive line is pretty solid, which it's no exception here. Like the left guard Joel Antonio, Joe Thomas, Alex Mack, solid O line, not really the best, not really the worst. Then we move to the defense for the Browns. Clowney and Ogba, good pass rush for the left end, right end. Defensive tackle, you got Malik McDowell, and then you got Willie McGinnis and Myles Garrett at left end. So a good, solid pass rushing core with Ogba, Myles Garrett, McGinnis, and Malik McDowell. Left outside line for a linebacker core. Their right outside linebacker is pretty bad. Mac Wilson is straight up awful. But you got Christian Kirksey here for the Browns. He actually has 89 speed, so he has 91 speed on the Browns theme team, which isn't the worst, but it's still pretty bad. Corners, after Everson Walls is pretty good. He has like 90. Yeah, he'll have 98 speed with the in the zone for the DBs and the Browns cam. And Denzel Ward is actually also pretty solid too. So he actually has some two good solid corners. But also, like I said, Jason McCourty is Greedy Williams. I actually have this card. He has 97 speed on the Browns theme team. I actually have him on my Hawks theme team because our corners are so bad. So I actually play with Greedy Williams. He's actually, from my personal firsthand experience, I like Greedy. Without the Browns team cam, I can only imagine how much better he is there. But free safety is just awful. You got some good safety. You could put Jabril Peppers or Jordan Poyer here, but they still have Gold, Grant Delpit, and then their special teams are okay. So for the Browns, I'm definitely going to put them as a C tier team as well. They definitely need a little bit of help, mainly in the secondary, but just keep in mind that if you're a Browns fan. Next, we have Jacksonville Jaguars, and I've heard people say don't sleep on the Jaguars team. So let's have a look at this, shall we? So obviously, the quarterback, they need an upgrade at the QB position. James Robinson, power back. Look at his stats real quick. 94 speed for a running back. He has some good ball carrier stuff, some good trucking, some good stiff arm. I think he has 94 break tackle, which is all great stats. Wide receiver Jimmy Smith, he's got 98 speed with the training pluses. So Jimmy Smith looks pretty solid for a number one receiver. And then you got Marvin Jones, who definitely is a big drop off going down to 96, which is pretty meh. And then Allen Robinson, I don't think he's that good. Yeah, 94. So the receivers are definitely holding this team back a little bit. This tight end is just awful. Offensive line, though, they're actually not bad. As you know, they got a good left guard and left tackle and Tony Baselli, who actually did play for the Jaguars. Then you got Andrew Noel. And then after that, for the interior right, the right side of the line, you still need some upgrades here. And then you got Kelvin Beacom Jr. for the left tackle for the right tackle. Now moving on to the defense. Now defensively, this team actually, it's a little bit better. Tony Brackens is a solid left end. I think his stats, 86 speed, which is okay for an end. But pass rushing, he's got 92 power moves, so I would play him at DT, a rush DT, honestly. You also got Tyson Alualu, and then you got Calais Campbell. So you got some good big run stopping DTs, run stopping ends here. Moving on to the linebacker core. Linebacker core is pretty solid. Josh Allen for the Jaguars. He got a team of the week card a few weeks ago. 93 speed. That's actually pretty solid. He'll have 94 fat ass move too. Middle linebacker Quincy Williams, in my opinion, he's actually pretty solid. 93 speed, and he'll get lurker from 1 AP. So he's a good user. Not the greatest, but he is a good user. Also keep in mind too for your team. You will get Cam Chancellor as well because everybody gets Cam this year. So because he is the Mutt Master. But we also get Dante Fowler Jr., 93 speed edge rusher. So pass rush for the Jaguars looks okay. And then for the cornerbacks, they just got Shaquille Griffin today, and I can attest this from the Seahawks team. He's playing very well. He plays very well right now, 98 speed on the team. Then you got Jalen Ramsey, who is a 95 speed. Does need a little bit of an upgrade. Hopefully he'll get one soon. But you play him in the slot at 95 speed, he'll be fine for you. Perry Nickerson is the next one up, 98 speed as well. I think the problem with this card, in my opinion, I think he's like 5'10". Yeah, right here. He's 5'10". Oh, shoot. You guys can't really see it. Right over here. 5'10". So, yeah. That is a bit of an issue for him there, but he's got some solid stats all the way around for Perry. And then safeties, you got some good. The Jaguars defense is really good. Andrew Wingard they got for their stocking stuffer, and then Reggie Nelson was our legend for them. The Jaguars defense is actually really, really good. They got some good pass rush, they got some good corners, good linebackers. It's just their offensive line and their quarterback are definitely holding them back. So I'm going to actually put the Jaguars in the low B tier because I do think they have some potential. It's just they're definitely lacking offensive pieces. Next, moving on, let's talk about the Detroit Lions. So the Lions theme team. So they got Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, he is one of a few quarterbacks that can get gunslinger. As you can see, we'll power him up. Here's his stats. So he only has 80. He'll have 81 speed, which is solid mobility. Not the greatest, but it's okay. But he has 96 throw power, so he will be able to get gunslinger. He has some solid accuracy stats as well. But Matthew Stafford, he does have some good stats here. You also can get DeAndre Swift, who is a good do-it-all running back. 95 speed, which is pretty sweet. But then we move on. You also can get LeGarrette Blount too, so you have a good 1-2 punch at running back. But moving on to the receiver, you get Marvin Jones, and as I alluded to earlier, Marvin Jones, 96 speed is not where you want to be with the receivers. Right now, you want to be somewhere like 97, like your top receivers being 97, 98 speed. So Marvin Jones is fine, but he's not the best. Calvin Johnson, though, is still amazing. 95 speed, but he is 6'5". So obviously that size is definitely going to come into hand, but his next upgrade will be phenomenal once he does get it. But the Lions receivers are not very good. Tight ends, though, is, pretty great. You got 3 legit great tight ends. Eric Ebron here, 93 speed for the Lions team. Then you got TJ Hawkinson, who I think got a harvest card a little while ago, 91 speed. 91 speed tight end, not the worst. But Eric Ebron is pretty solid. Offensive line, they actually have one of the better offensive lines in the entire game. Thomas Brown, Lomas Brown, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow. whatever this gentleman name is, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, and then Riley Reef. Move on to the defense. Now, defense, they have some solid pass rushers. Have some solid defensive line. Everson Griffin is a good pass rush guy. I think he got 90 speed, which on the edge, I'm not going to lie, on the edge is pretty solid. Adama Kungsu, even though he does get all NFC team cam, he did play for the Lions as well. Then you got Howell Naga for the rush DT, for the run stopper DT, 76 speed, so he'll be 78 speed on the Lions team. I'm going to be completely honest, that is pretty good, because a lot of rush DTs right now are in the, mid 70s, so high 70s is pretty solid. Their left end is obviously not the greatest, but you could just move Adama Kungsu over there. Linebacker core, this is where the team really lags behind, is their linebacker core. Alex Alzone, 90 speed. It's fine, but he can't really get lurker because he's 1 overall short, so that's a bummer. Derek Barnes, though, I actually never seen this Derek Barnes. 93 speed, okay, that's actually pretty solid for a pass rushing linebacker. Cornerbacks, their corners are not the best, 97 speed for Lem Barney, which is okay. But then after that, Phillip Buchanan, 94 speed. Their corners are pretty bad. They did get Calvin Johnson and Quandre Diggs today. I can attest this for Quandre. Quandre is really good, at least right now. For me, he's not really giving me any issues. But in terms of for Calvin Johnson, you power him up, he'll have 98 speed. And he can be your user, being 6'5" and, 98 speed, like that, there's nothing really you can say that's bad about Calvin. I also have Tracy Walker here, who I think will have 98 speed on the Lions team, which definitely is very helpful. So their safeties are unlocked, their corners are pretty bad, but overall, this team is actually a lot better than I originally thought. So I'm actually going to give the Lions team a B grade for them. So you Lions fans that are getting the game for Christmas, if you really want to, you can definitely go with the Lions team and then just make some upgrades at corner. Next, let's go to the Minnesota Vikings. So Randall Cunningham is in contention, and in my personal opinion, is the best quarterback in the game. 96 speed, and he gets gunslinger. Like, you cannot put a price on that, right? You don't need to get escape artist for him, so you don't need to waste the AP to make him faster out of the pocket or a faster scrambler. And he gets gunslinger, so that's automatically great. So then you go to the running backs. Roger Craig and Cordero Patterson, a great 1-2 punch at running back. What about this Latavius Murray? I think I did see him earlier. 92 speed, honestly, for a budget card, for a card that is, an 88 overall, 92 speed isn't bad for Latavius Murray. So you can definitely rock Roger Craig at fullback if you want, and then do it that way. For the wide receivers, you get Randy Moss, but then after that, Stephon Diggs, I think it's like 95 speed fully done. Yeah, so Stephon Diggs is 95 speed. So the Vikings receivers definitely need some attention. But they did get Justin Jefferson, and I think he has 98 speed with the chems and all that. Yes, he does. Justin Jefferson is incredible. Long overdue for a card. He did get one, but Justin is very, very good. Tight ends, Kyle Rudolph is actually pretty sweet. 89, so 91 speed, and he has some good catching stats too. I think he also has some solid block. Yeah, 82 run block is actually pretty good. Offensive line for the Vikings, their center is not the best, but overall, their team for the offense is pretty solid. Move on to defense. Their pass rushing guys are, their pass rushers are not the best. But, you can definitely compensate for that. Linval Joseph, he was the season 1 level 40 card that you got. However, you definitely can bypass it with training. You don't need to get the card. You can just bypass it. But Linval Joseph and Michael Pierce, both run stopper DTs, both can get inside stuff for 1 AP, which is pretty sweet. So it is what it is with that. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to cut an ad because it was bothering me. And it just popped right back up. Okay, stop seeing this ad. I'm not interested. Anyways, so other than that, you got some good rush DTs. For the pass rush, Everson Griffin, like I said, he's really good. Dominic Su, he's more of a rush DT than anything. Linebacker core, though, is one of the better ones we've seen so far. Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr are both really good. Anthony Barr was an LTD for the Most Feared promo. And he got a redux recently today. So yeah, 92 zone coverage, 94 speed. Anthony Barr looks like a solid card, and he's a 6'5" player. So you definitely can make this card a your user if you want to on the Minnesota Vikings theme team if that's what you're into. Um, Eric Kendricks is also really good. He's 6 foot tall. Here are his stats: 92 speed, solid for a linebacker. Roderick Thomas. For the cornerbacks though, they did get Cordero Patterson, which will have 98 speed. And he does come with stock one step ahead, human joystick, and acrobat, which costs 3 AP. So that's good for you guys. Perry Nickerson also has 98 speed as well, so 2 solid corners. Xavier Rhodes, on the other hand, 95. So I would suggest play Xavier Rhodes as your slot cornerback, unless you just want to put the smaller guy like Perry Nickerson in there. Free safety is not the best, straight up honest. The free safety is pretty bad. Anthony Harris, 91 speed. That's pretty bad. You could put Harrison Smith there, don't get me wrong, but he has 95 speed. So I wouldn't even do that. I would recommend actually just putting the Cam Chancellor you get there. But their safeties are pretty good. Their linebacker core is solid. Their pass rush is okay. Their defensive line, the front seven, is okay. So for that, I'm actually going to give the Minnesota Vikings a low B. Obviously, their pass rush and their safeties are not the best. Next, we move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have one of the better theme teams, and it's not by fault. Tom Brady, field general quarterback, can get hot route master. He's one of only 3 or 4 quarterbacks, I think, in the entire game that can get it. Although coming tomorrow for the game, there is Tony Romo coming. So, but they also get LeGarrette Blount. I'll showcase this LeGarrette Blount for you guys. He's 95 speed, 95 overall, 95 speed. Yeah, 95 speed on the Bucs theme team. Here is his other team chemistries. Like I said with the Lions, he's good. Leonard Fournette, he's okay, 94 speed, so you definitely can rotate the backs, but I would just recommend sticking with LeGarrette Blount. And for the wide receivers, though, Keyshawn Johnson is one of the best in the entire game, 98 speed, and he's 6'4", and he can also get wide receiver apprentice, which gives you hot routes in every single spot on the field, so definitely keep that in mind. You also have Antonio Brown, who is 97 speed, which is okay. It's not the worst, but Antonio Brown is really good still, and he's a route runner too, so it does give him, he does get route tech. Then next we have Mike Evans. Now Mike Evans, 94 speed, not the best. I think it would be better just to rock Deshaun Jackson or Joey Galloway, because you can see here Deshaun Jackson, 95 speed with the Tatum cam, and then the boost would be 97 speed. So you definitely could rock Deshaun Jackson with him. Now tight ends, Gronk is always a big guy. 92 speed, and he's got some great overall stats. Gronk is amazing. For the offensive line, though, they are missing some good pieces in the middle here, but their weapons and their quarterback definitely make up for it offensively. Moving on to the defense, it arguably is better. They have some good pass rushers in William Golston and Dominic Suh. They also have Leroy Selman and Al Wood, so there's a good front four right there. Outside linebackers in general, Shaquille Barrett, Levante David, Devin White, and JPP with Broderick Thomas. Like the outside the linebacker position is insane. Cornerbacks, though, they're definitely a little bit lacking in certain aspects, but 97 speed for Rondé Barber, which is pretty sweet. And I think, if I remember correctly, Aqib Talib is also a 95 speed corner, so he's okay. Darrelle Revis is definitely on the slower side of 94 speed, but everything else, like that free safety Antoine Winfield that they got, he's great as well. 98 speed, 95, 97, 96 zone with all the boosts. And then you got John Lynch, who is a team captain in this game, by the way. But they did release a bow nose card for John Lynch, and he does get 98 speed as well. So for the Buccaneers, I'm gonna put them in the high A tier. I think if they get some cornerback attention, they could be an S tier team, or some offensive line help. They can immediately become an S tier team. But this team right now is absolutely phenomenal with their team. So next, we'll move on to the San Francisco 49ers, guys. So the San Francisco 49ers quarterback is pretty bad. I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo, though, does get hot route master. I'm almost certain he does not. No, he doesn't. He doesn't get hot route master, so that immediately diminishes his value. But running backs, though, Roger Craig and Reggie Bush. Fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, Randy Moss, Debo Samuel. I think this Debo Samuel is like 96 speed, 98 speed. Okay, so Debo Samuel powered up with Niners team. Cam has got 98 speed. Emmanuel Sanders, now I know I did say he gets the all AFC team cam. However, he did play for the Niners a couple of years ago, so he gets Niners cam as well. So 95 speed for that. They also still have Jerry Rice, who is still a very good. I don't know if I hit my microphone. They also have Jerry Rice, who's a very good card. Charlie Young is one of the best tight ends in the game. Then you got George Kittle. Like, their tight end position is insanely great. Offensive line, though, is where this team actually does stand out a little bit more. They have probably, arguably, the best O-line in the entire game. Actually, they don't, because there's actually another team that's better. But Trent Williams, Larry Allen, Alex Mack, Leonard Davis, all high 80s to early 90s. So offensively, this team is good. Defensively, though, this team is a little on the downside when it comes to their team. We have Eric Armstead, who's needs an upgrade. Then we got DeForest Buckner, who's really good. Nick Bosa, I think he got an LTD about a month ago. 88 speed and 96 finesse move. That card's gonna be insane. That card is insane. Then we have D Ford here. He was in Team of the Week LTD about a month ago. Again, 95 speed, 95 finesse move, 90 speed. So good pass rusher on the edge. You can have Nick Bosa and D Ford on the edge, and then you can put like DeForest Buckner and Eric Armstead in the middle. It's up to you. Continuing on, we have Elvis Doomerville and Fred Warner. Now, Fred Warner is very solid. A 90 speed for him. He does get lurker, but he's on the slower side for the linebackers. Elvis Doomerville is all right. Cornerbacks, though, this team is actually pretty set. Deion Sanders is one of the best corners in the game with 98 speed on the Niners theme team. Then we have Jason Verrett, who also has 98 speed on the Niners theme team. Then we have Ronnie Lott, who I think he does get a free safety. He does get this, but for his free safety, but you can give him on his power up secondary position cornerback. I'll showcase that to you guys right now. Where is I think I actually have to click on the power up part. Give me 1 second here. So power up and go down here, and as you can see right there, secondary positions corner and safety. So you can put him at cornerback and get a 97 speed corner as well. DJ Reed is okay. But then, for safety, you got Taylor Mays, and then you got Jaquez T. Tart. I would actually put Taylor Mays as strong safety. But the Niners team overall looks very good, so I'm going to give the Niners team an A as well. I think their team right now, as it stands, is pretty solid. Now, their defensive, their front seven does need some attention, but their overall, their secondary is pretty solid, but they're offensively, they're just missing a solid quarterback. So hopefully they get a Steve Young or a Joe Montana very, very soon. Next, we move on to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I actually thought about making this team a while ago, actually. So Atlanta Falcons, they get Michael Vick, who is one of the better quarterbacks in the game. Running back wise, they're on the bad side. Cordero is fine, 94 speed, but Mike Davis is not that good. Fullback, you got Keith Smith. Wide receivers, Roddy White, I think, is 97 speed, so he's okay. But Julio Jones is pretty bad, 93 speed for Julio Jones. This team is pretty bad in the wide receiver. Kyle Pitts for the tight end, though. He'll have 96 speed for the tight end for Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is insane this year. This Kyle Pitts card is just absolutely crazy how good this card is. The words cannot justify how good this Kyle Pitts card is. Offensive line, this team is definitely needing some offensive line help. You got Jake Matthews, who's still a gold. Chris Lidstrom was a solid pick, but Alex Mack. And then Ty Serrano, whatever. Defensively, this team is also pretty meh. John Bullard is their best left end. Then you have, Corey Peters as their top DT. Corey Peters stats, 97 speed, 77 speed, 97. What the fuck? 77 speed, not bad for the Cardinals. For Corey Peters. Then you have John Abraham and Grady Jarrett. John Abraham 92 speed, and then Grady Jarrett has 76, but I would recommend you play him at rush DT. Personally, I recommend you just put him at DT. Linebacker core, Steven Means is okay, 87 speed, but I wouldn't recommend using him. Deion Jones is actually one of the more underrated linebackers in the game, in my personal opinion. 93 speed, can get lurker, has 91 zone coverage. I think Deion Jones is one of the more underrated players in the game right now. Cornerback wise, they have Deion Sanders as well. They also have the new Cordero Patterson. AJ Terrell will have 98 speed on this team. So cornerback, they're actually one of the best cornerback teams in the entire league. They have three 98 speed corners. And they also have Fabian Moreau, who's a good budget card. He'll have 97 speed. So that's actually pretty solid. Their defense, and then their safeties, Deron Harmon, I think will have 95. So okay for a free safety, not the best. And then Keanu Neal, he definitely needs an upgrade as well. So this team for their cornerbacks is what's really making this team. Their defense is solid. But for the Atlanta Falcons, I'm going to give them a C tier personally. I'm going to give the Falcons a C tier. Their running back is not the best. Their running back duo isn't the greatest. Wide receiver, they need some help desperately. Then offensive line for their offense, and then defensively, they need some more front seven stuff. And then when it comes to strong safety as well. So next we move on to the Baltimore Ravens. Now shout out to my boy Best Ever, who I'll put a link to his Twitter in the description. Where the fuck are there they are? He runs a Ravens theme team. Guy's a wonderful person. Go follow him on Twitter. Check him out. But Randall Cunningham, like I said, best quarterback in the game. But you also can use Lamar Jackson. 97 speed. That's insane. You can use Lamar Jackson. Like, he's incredibly good. Willis McGahee, if I remember correctly, is 94 speed. Yeah, 94 speed on this team, which is a very solid speed for a running back right now. Then they have Kyle Juszczyk. Now for their wide receivers, their wide receivers are pretty bad. Emmanuel Sanders, he does get all ASC team camps. Mark Andrews is 92 speed? Yeah. So, and then you got Darren Waller, who came out like a long time ago, 91 speed. The wide receivers for the Ravens, they need some attention. Offensive line, though, they're actually pretty set up pretty solidly. Kevin Zeitler is pretty sweet. Ryan Jensen's okay card. Bradley Bozeman, I think, was their stocking. Yeah, Bradley Bozeman was their stocking stuffer for the Ravens. So the Ravens team is okay. So for the offense, defensively though, this team is a little bit better. You got two run stopper DTs, and I love my run stopper DTs this year. With the inside stuff being 1 AP now, I love my run stopper DTs. Now Hality is actually the Ravens theme team diamond. But other than that, you got Calais Campbell, who's pretty solid. Pass rushing, for the linebacker. Moving on to the linebackers, these guys got some cracked linebackers. Matthew Judon is one of the best pass rushing linebackers in the game. 96 power, 86 finesse move, 90 speed. Like Matthew Judon is cracked. Also is Cedarius Smith, although he's a little on the slower side because he has 87 speed, but he's still pretty solid. Ray Lewis is actually a solid user linebacker, 93 speed for the Ravens theme team. He has 92 power moves, so you can actually rush the passer with Ray Lewis. He has some good zone coverage at 92. Like, this card is actually pretty sweet. Then you have Elvis Dumerville, and you also have Ed Reed too. Now keep in mind with the Ed Reed, one thing I will point out to you guys on this team as well as the Jets and the Texans team, you can only have the Ed Reed right outside linebacker or free safety. You cannot have both. But the most feared Ed Reed right outside linebacker card can go into the strong safety power up card. So does that make sense? Like, it's a little bit weird of a thing. It's a little weird. He doesn't get it. Okay. But it is what it is. But 97 speed on this Ed Reed card here for right outside linebacker. But their linebackers are, I would think the linebacker core for this team is one of the best in the game. Good Lord. Cornerbacks, Deion Sanders leads the way. But after that, the Ravens corners, good Lord. 94 speed on Marcus Peters. I think Marlon Humphrey is also the same. No, he's actually worse at 92. Then you have free safety Ed Reed, who is, he's a legend piece, so don't mind that. Then you have the actual full Ed Reed, which you can move to free safety. Here are his stats: 97 speed, still solid on a safety. Definitely still a solid on a safety. You could definitely move him to free safety. They also got Bernard Pollard, which was the Texans theme builder, but I wouldn't recommend that. And then they have the best kicker in the game in Justin Tucker. So for the Ravens team, I'm going to give them a B. I think if they get better corners and some good wide receivers, if they get better help at the skill position, this team could actually move up to the A or S tier. But until then, they're a B tier team. Chicago Bears is the next one. So Chicago Bears, they just got Justin Fields today for the Bears. So here are his stats: 95 speed, pretty solid. He's got some good throwing stats too, and he can get escape artist, but I wouldn't recommend it. Cordero Patterson, just like the Falcons one, the Cordero is nice, but after that, Mike Davis is not the best running back in the game. One of the worst in my opinion. But Raheem Mostert is 94 speed, so you can actually rock Raheem Mostert there instead of Mike Davis. Then for the wide receivers for the Chicago Bears, after Brandon Marshall, it does go downhill. Allen Robinson's not the best. Devin Hester you can't get because you missed season 1. Which I think is sad. I think EA needs to find a way to get these guys into the game for players. Find a way to get them in the game. Jimmy Graham is okay, but he's not the best. Offensive line is their offensive line is pretty mediocre. Well, offensively, the Bears are pretty bad. Defensively, though, the Bears look pretty solid. 97 Hakeem Hicks, he just came out today for the LTD for the Zero Chill promo. Jay Ratliff and Tommy Harris for the defensive tackles. Then you got Ndamukong Suh here. For the linebacker core, this is arguably also on par with the Ravens. Khalil Mack, Kevin Pierre-Louis, Mike Singletary, Alec Ogletree they got for their stocking stuffer. And then Wibbler Marshall. Some good solid pass rushers. Khalil Mack is one of the best pass rushers in the game. Here are his stats. 95 power, 91 finesse move, 92 speed for Khalil Mack. That's pretty good. Wibbler Marshall. He's a pass coverage linebacker, if I remember correctly. Right? If I remember correctly, he is a wait, I actually think he is a pass coverage linebacker. Yeah, I think he actually is a pass coverage linebacker. Let me find his archetype. It was literally staring at run stopper. Okay, never mind. He's a run stopper archetype. So he's okay. But for cornerbacks, Cordero is pretty solid, but Antrell Roll being their second best corner. Yeah, 95 speed as a slot corner isn't the worst, but yeah, 90, and then you got Desmond Trufant, 94. Like the Bears corners are pretty bad. Eddie Jackson at free safety, honestly, he's okay. 96 speed. He's okay. Strong safety, Adrian Amos the Bears team is not the best. So for the Bears, I'm going to put them in the C tier. Kind of want to put them in the low C tier, actually. The Bears definitely need some attention for their team. Next, we have the Bengals. So Boomer Esiason is in the conversation as the best QB in the game. So he's pretty solid. The running backs, Giovanni Bernard, I think is 89 speed. He's not the best. Then you got Marvin Jones here, he's okay, 96 speed, and I think Jamar Chase is actually like 98 speed. Yeah, Jamar Chase, 98 speed with Bengals cam plus the in the zone for the DB. So Jamar Chase is pretty solid. AJ Green, I think is like 94 speed. 96. Okay, 96 speed on a 6'4" wide receiver. I'd take it, to be honest, being the size that he is. So, they have some solid receivers, tight end, whatever. For the offensive line, though, this team's got a solid offensive line. Anthony Munoz Munoz, whatever, I don't know, was a Bo Nose card about a couple of weeks ago. They also have Andrew Whitworth. You could definitely put Andrew Whitworth here to left guard. Billy Price is a solid player. Quentin Spain is pretty sweet. So the Bengals offensive line is pretty good. Defensively, though, the team is like Sam Hubbard is okay. DJ Reader, run stopper DT. Hey, I take it. It don't matter to me how good or bad the card is, but the stats, here's the stats: 65 speed. But he does have 90 block shed, which again, I'll take it. I will gladly take that. Carlos Dunlap, though, one of the better edge rushers, 89 speed, 94 power move. He's pretty solid. Linebacker core, the linebacker core for this team is pretty eh. AJ Hawk, Marcus Bailey, here. And then corners are also pretty like William Jackson, 95 speed. Like the Bengals, pretty bad. but their safeties are very, very, very good. They have two of the best safeties in the game, but I can't overlook the lack of depth at corner. Their terrible outside linebacker and their lack of depth at running back. So for them, I'm going to give them a C. I think the Bengals do need some help. Next, we move on to the Dallas Cowboys, who are, in my personal opinion, in the conversation as the best team in the entire game. Randall Cunningham, best quarterback. Also, Tavon Austin. He's a receiving back, so he'll have 95 speed, and he gets backfield master for 1 AP, which I talked about, or will talk about in my abilities video. If you guys haven't watched that yet, but still a good solid 1-2 punch at running back. Ezekiel Elliott's also a 92 speed running back, so you can definitely have good 1-2 punch at running back. Now for wide receivers, this team is amazing. They just got Michael Irvin today. I'll showcase Michael Irvin's stats. They just got him today, 98 speed on the Cowboys team. He only does go on the Cowboys, but 98 speed. Then they also have Keyshawn Johnson, who I showcased earlier. Jimmy Smith, I also showcased him earlier, but here's a reminder, 98 speed for his stats. CeeDee Lamb, they also just got 99 speed for CeeDee Lamb, fully powered up with Cowboys Kim, and the wide deep route specialist. So the Cowboys have the best receiver core in the game, in my personal opinion. CeeDee Lamb. And then their tight ends just get better. Dalton Schultz is incredibly good, is solid. 91 speed, but he's a big fucking tight end. Him being, what is it called? 244 pounds? That's pretty big for a tight end, but 91 speed. Has some good run blocking too, 87 run block. He also has 87 short route, which is okay. And then the offensive line for the Cowboys, it's not the best in the game, but it's, the Cowboys always have a great O-line. And then, we're definitely going to see some cards like Zach Martin come out later, get an upgrade. Maybe we'll see a, what was that card that came out? There was a center that came out last year for the Cowboys. I genuinely cannot remember the card's name, but, the Cowboys offense is incredible, but their defense is just as good, in my opinion, if not better. DeMarcus Lawrence is it's okay, but Jay Ratliff and Malik Collins solidify a good two DTs. They solidify a good two rush DTs. 92 finesse move, 89 block shed. Jay Ratliff is also pretty good. 91 power, 91 finesse, and 94 power move. Definitely play him at DT though for rush DT. Then we move on to the other cards, like their linebacker core. We also have Dominican Sue, Everson Griffin. Micah Parsons, this card was just straight up violated in many ways. This card got so disrespected when it came out, and I'm amazed that this card was made with the way it is. Micah Parsons being one of the best pass rushing players in the NFL as a rookie, and he doesn't have the greatest pass rush. I don't understand it, but that doesn't stop me from questioning it. But Leighton Vander Esch, 91 speed. He'll get Lurker as well in tier 3. There it is right there for 1 AP because he is a field general. Broderick Thomas also is a good pass rusher. Benson Mayo is also really good. Cornerbacks, they have the best corners in the game. Deion Sanders, as I showcased earlier, Everson Walls. Byron Jones is okay. Trevon Diggs, 96 speed on Cowboys team. But the Cowboys team is just stacked in the secondary. Roy Williams definitely does need an upgrade though. 94 speed, he definitely does. They definitely do need a better free safety, and they also need a strong safety as well. But this team, in my opinion, I would say that this is the first S tier. In my opinion, they have a loaded offense. They have a stacked secondary, great pass rush. Like the Cowboys are an S tier, in my opinion. If they're lacking very heavily in the safety department, but once they have that, they are the best team in the game without question. Next, we have the Houston Texans. I'm scared to look at this one. I have never actually seen what the Houston Texans depth chart looks like. So, Houston Texans. So they have Ryan Fitzpatrick as their quarterback. They have Ronnie Brown and Phillip Lindsay as a good running back pair. So it's a good 1-2 punch, 93 speed for Ronnie Brown. And then I think Phillip Lindsay is like 95 speed. So Phillip Lindsay is pretty sweet. Then you have for the wide receiver core, they got D-Hop today. He powers up to 97 speed. But Will Fuller's 98 speed, and then Brandon Cooks is 99 speed, fully powered up in the zone for the DBs. You see right here, he'll get 99 speed. So That's really great for the Texans. Darren Fells is tight end, not the worst. He's a blocking tight end, so he'll have some good solid run block. Not the greatest of speed or anything. Offensive line, it's okay. To be completely honest, it's whatever. Nothing really to talk about for the offensive line. Defensively, though, this team's front seven is pretty sweet. J.J. Watt is actually pretty good. 79 speed, but he does have 94 power move, and he has 92 block shed. So definitely play him on rush DT. You also have Jadeveon Clowney. He has Vince Wilfork as well. Malik Collins was their card. Right end is pretty bad, but linebackers, Kevin Pierre-Louis is a solid card. A 92 speed on the on this team. 92 speed for Kevin Pierre-Louis. He also does get Lurker. Then you have Christian Kirksey as well. He was their stocking stuffer. Ed Reed, you can definitely have him. I would actually recommend have him at safety. But this team definitely does lack in the secondary. This team's secondary is pretty bad. Aaron Glenn is like 96 speed. AJ Boye is like 95, not even 93. Good lord. Desmond King is like 94. No, AJ Boye would be 93. My apologies. Philip Buchanan, he needs an upgrade. So, yeah, the secondary is pretty bad. Justin Reed, he has 96 speed, but that's for a free safety, that's okay. You definitely could put Ed Reed there to fill that hole, but for the Texans team, I'm actually gonna make them a B tier. I actually like for right now. Like, I like their receiver core. It's one of the best, 90, 99, 98, 97 speed. Ryan Fitzpatrick definitely, they need a better quarterback. Offensive line needs some attention as well, but their secondary just makes it really hard to make this team viable. Next we go to the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning, one of the better quarterbacks in the game. I personally don't think he's very good because of his immobility, only 52 speed. But if you do like to pass from the pocket and you are a pure pocket passer, this is your guy. He gets gunslinger and hot route master. He's really, really good with that. Moving on to running backs, though, Jonathan Taylor is the only good running back they have at 96 speed. After that, he is just nothing. There is just no other good running back that they have. For wide receivers, though, they actually have some solid wide receivers. T.I. Hilton's a 98 speed on the Colts team. Reggie Wayne is a 97 speed on the Colts team. Andre Johnson is a 96 on the team. Not bad. They have Eric Ebron, who I showcased earlier. He's a pretty good card. Offensive line, they actually have a pretty solid offensive line. Mark Lewinsky, Braden Smith, Ryan Kelly. Quentin Nelson got an LTD a little while ago. Offensively, they're pretty great. Defensively, though, it looks like this team is not the best. Left end is pretty bleh. Al Woods and DeForest Buckner are a good rush DT pairing. But Kwity Payne, he's okay. Al Quain Muhammad, 88 speed, 93 power move. Kwity Payne, he is 94 speed, 91 power move. 90, so that's good. Justin Houston, 88 speed, 90 power move. So pass rushing, they're okay. Grady Brackett for the Colts, 87 speed, so 89 speed. He will get Lurker, but I wouldn't recommend putting him out there. They also get Ted Hendricks, though, who I would actually recommend you use her in this situation. I apologize for that, guys, but Ted Hendricks is also pretty good. Now, their secondary is it's okay. DJ Kenny Moore's 97 speed for a slot corner. That's actually incredibly good. But after that, Xavier Rhodes and Rock Ya-Sin. Yeah. But yeah, the Colts, their secondary is just hurting horribly. So for the Colts, I'm going to make them a C tier. About a mid C tier. If their secondary gets some help, they could be a legit contender in this game. But yeah, the Colts team is pretty bad. Next up, we go to my most hated team in the NFL, the Los Angeles Rams. So Matthew Stafford, Tavon Austin, good, Matthew Stafford, good quarterback. Tavon Austin, good quarterback. However, don't have a really good second one. Wide receiver, though, Cooper Kupp is like 97 speed on this team, if I remember correctly. 95, okay. So after Brandon Cooks, it's a big drop-off in the production for the speed for the team. But, Robert Woods, I think, is also solid. What's his speed? What does he get? 95 speed. Okay, but he does get route tech, so that does help him all out a lot. Same with Cooper Kupp. Defense for the tight ends, though, Charlie Young is one of the better tight ends in the game. Jared Cook is also still pretty solid, if I remember correctly. 92 speed. Yeah, Jared Cook is still solid, even for a card that came out like a few months ago. For the offensive line, though, okay. Like, they have some good tackles. Andrew Whitworth is actually pretty solid. Roger Saffold is pretty good, but they need an upgrade at the right guard spot. Moving on to the defense, though, for the front seven, Jack Youngblood is he is their team cap. He does get Rams cam because he played for the team. However, he gets all team cams. But when I probably should have mentioned this when I talked about this with the what was the team that had the team captain on it? I think it was the Bucs. I think it was with the Bucs. Yeah, I did mention it that the team captain they showcase it. They have the team captain, but they'll have him in the lineup just because he was part of the team. But Chris Long is still pretty solid. Michael Brockers, rush DT. I think he's a run stopper. Yes, he is. I see it right over here. 88 block shed is pretty solid right here. Yeah, and that's basically it for him. Then for the right end, Darryl McKinsu and Aaron Donald, both are fantastic. Aaron Donald is insane. Aaron Donald is an insane card, and I would assume he's just better on the Rams team. Linebackers, though, this is where this team gets a little bit up in the air. Kevin Green is pretty solid at 89 speed, and Alec Ogletree, I think, is 92 speed. Yep. And then Dante Fowler Jr. is pretty solid. So their linebackers are pretty solid, but they already have a lot of good pass rushers. I don't necessarily know if Dante Fowler Jr. Well, you probably could use Dante Fowler Jr. on the edge, but I don't necessarily know if guys like Chris Long or whatever are going to be very, very good. Cornerback. The cornerback core for this team is not the best. Okay, like Marcus Peters, I showcased them earlier, 94 speed. Jalen Ramsey will have 95 on this team. Janoris Jenkins is like their fastest corner at 97 speed, and he is 5'10" as well. But the corners for the Rams team are at best. Taylor Rapp for the free safety, he just came out a while ago, 96 speed, okay for a free safety. Jordan Fuller, though, I've actually used this card. He had 96 speed on the Rams team. This card is actually pretty solid. 92, 94 zone. Can potentially have 90 man depending on the card you get on the power up on the what's it called, the strategy item you get. But Jordan Fuller is pretty sweet. And then for the special teams, they're not that good. So for the Rams team, I'm gonna put them in I'm gonna put them in the lower half of B. Obviously, corners need to be better. Their receivers need some help a little bit, and that's basically it. Just corners and receivers. Next, we go to the Los Angeles Chargers, which are right where in the fuck are the Chargers? Right here. So, Justin Herbert, one of the few quarterbacks to get Hot Route Master. 88 speed, solid mobility on a field general, but he does get a Hot Route Master as well, so that's pretty sweet. Ronnie Brown and LaDainian Tomlinson. Obviously, Ronnie Brown is just the clear starting back because LaDainian Tomlinson, 92 speed. I mean, you could still rock LaDainian. You could probably still rock him, so that's pretty sweet. Lance Allworth, he is a team captain, but he does get all team chems. But he is meh at best, 97 speed, which is solid. But then Emmanuel Sanders, Charlie Joyner, 96 speed for a slot corner, for a slot receiver. Keenan Allen is pretty bad, 95 speed, which is not where you want to be right now. Antonio Gates, though, on the other hand, 90 speed, very solid. I'm not going to say that he's pretty bad. I'm not going to go any further than that. Offensive line, they do need some help a little bit, but overall, their offensive line is pretty solid. And then we can move on to their defense. Justin Jones for the for left end, and then you got Linval Joseph and Tommy Harris. Then you got Brett Melvin Ingram. Their front four is a little bit on the lower half. For their linebacker core, it's also on the bit of a lower half as well. Joey Bosa is pretty solid at 88 speed for the Chargers team. Then you have Junior Seau, who you can't get, unfortunately, because, again, he was one of the season one champions. Then you have this guy right here. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, but, he's all right. Cornerbacks, though, after Jason Verrett is a huge drop-off. And then free safety, and then their safeties, but their safeties are pretty solid. Derwin, Adrian Phillips, 95 speed, which is okay. And then Derwin, who just came out for the promo, 98 speed on the Chargers team. pretty good. But they're overall for their team, I'm gonna give them a C. Their skill positions, their cornerbacks, their wide receivers, yeah, they need some attention. Next, we move on. Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs. So Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes starting QB, doesn't have the best of mobility, but he does get gunslinger, which is important. But you have to power the card up first, so you actually have to get this card plus the Patrick Mahomes here, plus the coins for training. So that's going to probably cost you about like 400,000 training, give or take. As for running backs, Priest Holmes is the only running back that they have in terms of running backs. 93 speed, pretty solid. Now for their skill positions, Tyreek Hill can get 99 speed on this team. If you get the chems, he has 99 speed. Emmanuel Sanders gets 95 speed. Andre Rison, I think, is pretty bad. Yeah, 95 as well. So, after that, he's a pretty okay. But Mecole Hardman, 97 speed. You probably could start him, actually, over Andre Rison or Emmanuel Sanders. But for the tight ends, Travis Kelce is pretty solid. 90 speed for a big tight end. He's 6'5" too. So, 90 speed on a solid tight end. He's okay. Definitely is somebody that I would look to. Not necessarily make a big deal over, but he's okay. Offensive line is pretty meh. Like Mike Remmers is, but they also got Rodney Hudson and they also got Eric Fisher, who are pretty solid. Joe Thuney was their ultimate kickoff player. So their offense is all right, but defensively, this team looks pretty great. Emmanuel Ogbah is pretty solid. Chris Jones, Derek Nadi is also pretty sweet. Frank Clark is a good card. I can attest to this personally. Melvin Ingram is also pretty sweet. Also pretty good. D Ford, I showcased him earlier, is one of the best pass rushing linebackers in the game. Then you got Kevin Pierre-Louis, Justin Houston, Derek Johnson. Here's his card, 90 speed. Okay, not the best, but it's okay. Derek Thomas, though, is absolutely disgusting. 95 power and finesse move and 93 speed on this card. Good lord. Good luck trying to get around. Good luck trying to block him. But for this team, Ty Law, 99 speed for this corner on the Jets team, on the Chiefs team. 97 speed for Kendall Fuller. And then L'Jarius Sneed also has 98 speed. So their starting three cornerbacks are pretty sweet. Juwan Thornhill, I believe he also has 98 speed, 97 speed for Juwan Thornhill, which for, free safety is pretty sweet. And then Daniel Sorensen is actually a sneaky good, 95 speed on a strong safety. You can play him in the flats, and he'll do fine. But, Daniel Sorensen's pretty solid. They also have Bernard Pollard, but again, wouldn't recommend Bernard Pollard. And then they have some good solid special teams. So for the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm going to put them in the low half of A. They're not better than San Francisco. Put the Kansas City Chiefs in the lower half of A. Personally, I think if they get better, if they get another good running back and they get another good wide receiver, this team could move up into S tier, in my personal opinion. But that's it for the Chiefs. Next, move on to the Saints. I apologize, guys. We're at 57 minutes. This is going to be a bit of a long video. I do seriously apologize. There's nothing I can do with this. So, for the Saints, Teddy Bridgewater, he's okay. He can get escape artist, which is pretty solid. Alvin Kamara is one of the best backs in the game at 96 speed for the Saints team. And he can get backfield master. Brandon Cooks, as I mentioned earlier, he does get 99 speed. Emmanuel Sanders, he does get Saints chem because he actually did play for the Saints I think it was last year. Yes, it was last year in the 2020 season. But 95 speed on Saints team. You also have Marquise Colston, who is 94 speed. Michael Thomas is still pretty bad. Jared Cook and Jimmy Graham are on the lower half of the tight ends. Offensive line, though, is actually pretty solid. Trenton Armstead, Eric McCoy, Ryan Ramcheeks, Cesar Ruiz. Sorry, I thought that said Rules. Good offensive line. So we'll move on. Defensively, Akeem Hicks it came out today. He's pretty sweet. The defensive tackles are pretty bad, but I wouldn't worry about these too much because you have guys like Cameron Jordan and Akeem Hicks, and even Quadin Muhammad. There we go. So that's their front seven, their front four. Defensive, continuing on, AJ Klein is pretty Quan Alexander is all right on the lower half. And then Jonathan Vilma is actually pretty decent, actually. 94 speed on Saints team. Cornerbacks, though, PJ Williams. Now, this card you have to get all the way to level 50 on the season to get this PJ Williams. But 99 speed on a Saints team for a slot cornerback. Pretty good. Pretty good. Very, very good. And he has the potential to get 99 man coverage as well on the team. So keep that in mind. Janoris Jenkins, their next best corner is 97 speed. Aaron Glenn, I think, is like 90. I think it was like 94, 96. Okay. But their cornerbacks are pretty solid, but their safety, free safety is pretty bad with DJ Swearinger. Well, and also Malcolm Jenkins is also pretty solid too. 96 speed. Malcolm Jenkins is okay. I definitely would use her this card and have the Cam Chancellor. You get Rome. But this Saints team is scary good. Low key kind of good. So Saints I'm gonna put in the higher half of B. Personally, I think the Saints are the higher half of B. Now we move on to the New York Giants. Now the New York Giants. Where is the Giants? The Giants theme team. New York Giants. There it is. New York Giants is pretty sweet for their theme team. So Phil Simms, solid quarterback. Then you got Saquon Barkley, who I do think needs an upgrade very soon. 91 speed. It's okay, but he does need an upgrade. Then you got Larry Zonka. For the wide receivers, Brandon Marshall is one of the best receivers in the game, 97 speed. Then you got Plaxico Burress at 97 speed. And then you got Kadarius Toney at 95 speed for this team, 97 speed, and he's a slot receiver. So you have 397 overall wide receivers for this team. You also have Daniel Jones, who also gets 97 speed. However, this card has some baked-in abilities like the Cordero Patterson, slot-o-matic identifier and threat detector on a you get it on a receiver. Evan Ingram is one of the best tight ends in the game, 95 speed on the Giants team. Offensive line, Giants team, top to bottom. Right tackle is a little bit lagging a bit, but Kevin Zeitler, Billy Price, Matt Skira, and Thomas Browner is pretty sweet. Defensively, this team looks a little bit better. Michael Strahan is still a solid pass rusher, I think. 81 speed, so it'll be 83 speed, and then he'll have like 91 power move and 87 finesse, so that's okay. Liddell Joseph and Delvin Tomlinson, again, 2 rush stopper DTs. Dominic Sue and Leonard Williams. What is Leonard Williams' stats? Okay, not the best. Leonard Williams is not the best, but outside linebacker Carl Banks, he's pretty solid. Alex Ogletree, and then you got Jason Pierre-Paul and Lawrence Taylor, who I would recommend you put at edge. Jason Pierre-Paul, 96 finesse move. Insane. And then you got Lawrence Taylor, who's just insanely dominant. 92 speed, 93 power and finesse move. Like, this card is just insanely dominant. You could put him at left outside linebacker and help raise that team's overall a little bit if you want. Cornerback Everson Walls, pretty great. Again, 98 speed. Janoris Jenkins. James Bradbury, they actually did update a couple of days ago before they released him. So 97 speed for James Bradbury. So you could definitely rock with that. And then Jabril Peppers and Logan Ryan. And then their special team. So for the Giants, I'm going to put these guys actually in the higher half of A. Giants are going to stay in the A tier. The Giants are really good. I think if they had a better quarterback, in my personal opinion, they could be S tier. Because for quarterback, they can, they have Phil Simms, who has some solid abilities, but, he definitely can be a little bit better. Next, we go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I actually was making Eagles content on the channel before things went sideways with an old buddy of mine. So I'm not making Eagles team anymore. So I don't necessarily know how good this team has gotten. I did know that they got Randall Cunningham, and they also have LeGarrette Blount. But their receiver core is receiver core for them is pretty on the lower half. Devonta Smith, 97 speed. 95 speed. I think he'll be able to go into his power up very soon, especially if he does when the thing ends and they do have the win, they do have it to where he could probably get into his power up, which is good. They also have a good 3-headed monster at running back: Deuce Staley, Ronnie Brown, and LeGarrette Blount. Miles Austin showcased earlier, he's okay. Zach Ertz and Charlie Young are pretty sweet. Dallas Goedert's also really good. Offensive line, it's all right. They definitely need some upgrades, especially especially with Jason Kelsey. But they did get Lane Johnson a couple of days ago, last week, but their offensive line is all right. Moving on to the defense, front four, we got Chris Long and Brandon Graham for the left end, Fletcher Cox and Halty, and then for the right end, we got Ndamukong Suh and Josh Sweat. I actually think this is one of the better front fours in the game. They have some good players in both sides. For the linebackers, though, Seth Joyner, honestly, this card is pretty bad. It's got 93 speed, but has no pass rushing ability, has pretty bad zone coverage, and yeah, this card is pretty eh. You also got Alex Singleton, who's okay. Eric Wilson is a solid card and nothing more, honestly. He's a run stopper. That's all you can ask. But for corners, Steven Nelson, they actually did get him a couple of days ago. 97 speed, which is pretty solid. But after that, Avonte Maddox, 97 speed, but doesn't have the great coverage stats. Darius Slay, 95 speed, but doesn't have the greatest coverage stats. Brian Dawkins, now as of the recording of this video, they actually are getting a Brian Dawkins tomorrow, or later tonight, or later this afternoon. So Brian Dawkins will be coming to the game for the Eagles theme team. So he'll definitely get an upgrade. He'll definitely go up for his stats. Malcolm Jenkins, like I showcased with the Saints. But for the Eagles, I'm going to give them a B tier, honestly. I'm going to put them right around where the Titans and Rams are. Personally, for me, I think once their cornerbacks go up a little bit, like they get some better corners and maybe some offensive line upgrades and some better receivers, they definitely can be a S tier theme team. But mainly for me, I want to see for the Eagles wide receivers and cornerback upgrades. Next, we move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know why I said Steelers. But we have Ben Roethlisberger here. Here are his stats fully powered up. He does get Hot Route Master, if I'm not mistaken. He's one of a few quarterbacks that can. So Big Ben does get Hot Route Master. He does get Hot Route Master. Deuce Staley and LeGarrette Blount both are good. A good 1-2 back combo. Receivers, they have some dominant receivers. Lynn Swain, Antonio Brown, and Plaxico Burress. I showcased them all earlier. And then you got Emmanuel Sanders. Tight end, Eric Ebron. And then you got for the offensive line, Dan Moore. And then you got some solid offensive line play. Obviously Dan Moore. You can just move like Alejandro Villanueva or Kelvin Beckham over there. Defensively, this team does actually suffer a little bit in a certain aspect, but Stephon Tuitt is still pretty solid. Al Woods and Tyson Alualu are pretty good, solid cards too. Cameron Hayward is also pretty sweet. I have not seen this Cameron Hayward yet. 74 speed, 94 power move. So you got a good amount of run stoppers up front. Outside linebacker, though, you got TJ Watt, which I am completely, absolutely baffled that he did not get a master for Zero Chill. It makes no sense to me. But he has 90 speed for a Steelers theme team. Middle linebackers, Devin Bush continuing on. 92 speed for Devin Bush is pretty solid. And then you got Joey Porter, who is also pretty good. But for the cornerbacks, they got Steven Nelson, which is pretty solid, right? They got Steven Nelson, so 97 speed. However, after that, Cameron Sutton, 95 speed. Joe Hayden, 92. Yeah, these cornerbacks are pretty bad. Now, Mika's pretty great, and then Troy Polamalu is also really sweet, and then Chris Boswell is pretty good, but I'm going to put the Steelers in the mid-B. I'm going to put them about here. Obviously, their cornerbacks are the only thing holding them back, especially with the way this game plays. Their cornerbacks are what's really holding them back. Next, we move on to the Denver Broncos. There they are. So Peyton Manning, starting quarterback, but they also get Jake Plummer as well. Phillip Lindsay and Willis McGahee are a good 1-2 running back combo. Next, we got for the receivers, Jerry Jeudy, 99 speed on the Broncos theme team with the Chems. So Broncos, Jerry Jeudy, 99 speed, definitely not really something to scoff at. Then you got Brandon Marshall. Tim Patrick, I think, also has 98 speed. Tim Patrick also 98 speed. So some good cards here. Vernon Davis, one of the best tight ends in the game, 93 speed. He's pretty sweet. Offensive line, you got Gary Zimmerman. You also got some good other play here like Mateen, and then this guy here. Offensive line, they do need a little bit of help, but defensively is where this team actually does play solid. Now, they do have DeMont Jones here. Their front four is pretty bad, but after that, they look pretty solid. Shaquille Barrett is a good outside linebacker pass rusher. Seth Joyner, I talked about earlier. I don't necessarily know what to think about him. But Shaq Barrett's pretty good. Micah Kaiser is solid, I think. 91 speed on the Broncos team. Then you got Elvis Dumerville and DeMarcus Ware. But cornerbacks, this team has some phenomenally good cornerbacks. Ty Law, Delta O'Neal, 96 speed. Patrick Surtain at 98 speed. And then Ty Law at 99 speed. So some solid overall corners. Secondary, continuing on, Justin Smith, Brian Dawkins. Like I said before, Brian Dawkins is getting a card tomorrow. But Justin Simmons, Brian Dawkins, John Lynch, Kareem Jackson, like they had the best safety position depth in the entire game. You know, they got Justin Simmons, they got Brian Dawkins, and then they can get Kareem Jackson and John Lynch. And then you can move Kareem Jackson down to cornerback, although I don't know what this speed is for this Kareem Jackson. Okay, so I wouldn't even do that. But the secondary of this team is pretty solid. Obviously, their offensive line does need a little bit of help, but make no mistake, the Broncos are a S-tier team, especially with the way Madden 22 plays. You know, their cornerbacks are really great. Their front four is pretty bad, not going to lie. So it's very hard to get consistent pressure. But, you know, Shaquille Barrett and Elvis Dumerville and DeMarcus Ware could definitely make up for that. And then having Peyton Manning, you know, be a quarterback. Or you can go with Jake Plummer. You know, definitely would recommend one of those two cards. So next we have Green Bay Packers. And the Packers theme team. The Packers theme team, I don't know why EA hates the Packers so much. Aaron Rodgers is solid, but, you know, that's what it is. It is what it is. But they have A.J. Jones and A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. Both of them are a really good 1-2 running back combo. They also have Tavon Austin, who's also pretty solid as well. However, after that, their receivers just suck. Andre Rison is pretty bad. Devontae Adams, where is his upgrade, EA? Where the hell is Devontae Adams at? Tight ends are pretty good. Jermichael Finley is pretty sweet. 95 speed on the Packers team. Offensive line is all pretty solid, but yeah. And then for this team, for the defense, you know, Reggie White. And they got a good front four with Reggie White, Kenny Clark, KGB, and Ndamukong Suh. Then for the outside linebackers, you know, their linebacker core is pretty solid. You got Preston Smith. They also got Seth Joyner, Dave Robinson, Darius Smith. And then you got Christian Kirksey. So, you know, you got some good linebackers. Defensively, Jair Alexander, I think on this team goes to 96 speed for the Packers team. So, not the best. Charles Woodson, I think, is also like 96 speed. So, the Packers secondary is falling a little behind, but they do have Perry Nickerson. And then their safeties are pretty bad. So, but the Packers, I'm putting them in the C tier, high C. Their receivers are what's really killing this team, man. Like, their receivers are killing this team. Just straight up killing this team. Bad. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers. There they are. So Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, good quarterback. Christian McCaffrey is leading the way with the running back in, you know, 92 speed. On the Panthers team is pretty good. After that, Mike Davis, which I'll showcase his stats, but 88 speed, Mike Davis, not that good. Wide receiver, though, on the other hand, Keyshawn Johnson, 98 speed, and Robbie Anderson gets 99 speed. So that's actually pretty solid. How after that, David Moore, 94. Oh boy. You know, like David Moore is not the best, you know, but they have good top two receivers. And then their tight end is pretty offensive line is also actually is a lot better than I thought. You know, Cameron Irving does need an upgrade, but Andrew Norwell is pretty solid. You know, Greg Van Roten is pretty good. Taylor Moton is pretty good. Pardon me. Then we move on to the defense. Defensively, this team is pretty sweet. Pretty good. You know, you got Reggie White and Ron Butler, Derek Brown, and Mike Rucker as the front four. Outside for the linebackers, you got Kevon Green, Luke Kuechly, which is a pretty good card. 95 speed, also has 89 power moves, so you can rush with him a little bit. Also has 92 zone coverage. So Luke Kuechly is a great do-it-all linebacker. And then you got Shaq Thompson, who they just got. Cornerback, they got J.C. Horn, who has 98 speed on the Panthers team. James Bradbury, who has 97 speed. But then you also have Stephon Gilmore, who has 93. But The Panthers definitely do need some help in there, but they also have Jeremy Chin, who's a very good safety, 93 speed, 96 speed, and um, he also has like 6 foot. He's also 6'3". I mean, and then Sean Chandler, but you could just make this Cam Chancellor. Um, but I'm gonna put the Panthers team in the B tier. I'm gonna put this right about. I'm just gonna put it wherever. Honestly, I think the Panthers, they need a third receiver and a third cornerback, in my personal opinion. After their top two corners and top two receivers, they are just not looking very hot. So next we move on to the Raiders, and I don't want to look at this depth chart because this Raiders team is just the best in the game. The Raiders are just the best. I'm not even gonna look at it. Raiders S tier, best team. Not gonna talk about it. Moving on. Now we go to the Arizona Cardinals. Now the Arizona Cardinals. So for Arizona, they got Jake Plummer and Boomer Esiason as quarterbacks. They also have Chase Edmonds as a running back, which 96 speed, pretty solid. Wide receiver, they just got DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad Rashad, 95 speed. So the Cardinals, don't have the best receiver core. Darren Fells is okay. Offensive line, though, for the Cardinals is one of the better ones in the game. Like every single one of these guys starting at their O-line is above 90. Rodney Hudson, Alan Faneca, Lomas Brown, Dan Deerdorf, Leonard Davis, all are above 90 overall. Like, these guys are really good for their O-line. Moving on to the defense, J.J. Watt, like with the Texans, he's really good. Corey Peters is pretty sweet, but then Rashad Lawrence is not great. But then you have John Abraham and Dominic Sue. John Abraham is pretty sweet. And you also have Calais Campbell and Hassan Reddick. For the linebackers, you got Seth Joyner, Isaiah Simmons, and Wibbler Marshall. So a good linebacker core all the way around. Isaiah Simmons is a very, very, very good linebacker. 94 speed. Also has some good coverage stats. 89 man, 90 zone. So, Isaiah Simmons is pretty good. But the cornerbacks for this team the cornerbacks definitely need some help here. Antoine Walt, Malcolm Butler. The Cardinals team definitely does lack a lot of help. So for that reason, I'm going to put the Cardinals in C tier. They need some more help in the cornerback position and their wide receiver, because DeAndre Hopkins gets 97 speed for them. But after that, you got AJ Green, and then you got Ahmad Rashad. So yeah, their skill positions, they do need some work with corners and whatnot. Anyways, 5 more to go, guys. I appreciate all of you sticking around with the video and watching. I'll try to put timestamps. I don't know if I'll put this in the description or not. But I'll say this in the description. But I'll put timestamps in the description so that way you guys can go back and watch these and look at the theme team in question. That way you could just skip to your favorite team. Next we have Washington. Now Washington last year was one of the best theme teams in the game, but this year they're not. This year they definitely have taken a bit of a hit. Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback. You can get hot route master with him, which is all very, very good. Sean Alexander, power back. Here are his stats. You can get there we go, 93 speed on the Washington football theme team, or whatever theme team you put him on. Then you get Antonio Gibson, who is a good running back. Definitely is 96 speed, so you can have a good 1-2 punch at running back. But for receivers, this team does not come close to what it should be. 97 speed for Deshaun Jackson, and then 96 for Joey Galloway. But after that, this is not the best theme team whatsoever. Vernon Davis is also pretty solid, and Frank Wycheck he's not good. Frank Wycheck sucks. For the offensive line though, this team is the Washington football team definitely did take a bit of a hit this year. For the team. And then moving on to the defense, Bruce Smith is good, so is Montez Sweat. John Allen is actually also pretty good, same with as well. John Allen, I think, has like 76 speed, but he has 90 power move, and he has some solid block shed. Jason Taylor is also a good pass rusher. 91 speed for this team. 94 finesse move. For linebackers, you got some good outside linebackers, but middle linebacker for this team is just awful. 975 John Bostic is just bad for this team. Corners, though, you got Deion Sanders and Kendall Fuller, but then after that, it's pretty bad. Sean Taylor, though, gets 96 speed on this team, which is okay. And then you got Landon Collins, but this team is definitely not the same team than it was last year. So for that, I'm putting the Washington football team in the C tier. And personally, I have probably, now that I've realized this, I don't think any team belongs in the D tier. I think every team has some value if you make the right adjustments or make the right changes to it, or add the right players. I think you can make any team good. Next, we have the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, definitely on the mediocre side. Jim Kelly is a pretty good card. You also have Josh Allen, who is a budget strong arm quarterback. Willis McGahee and Reggie Bush are a great 1-2 running back combo. But for wide receivers, like I said before, Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders and Robert Woods, they're both all 95 speed. Not you want to be for the Bills theme team. Dawson Knox for the tight end position. 91 speed for Dawson Knox. Well, that's how fast he was. Okay, that answers my question from earlier tonight. But offensive line, Deion Dawkins, Richie Incognito, like the offensive line is okay, but it could be better, obviously. But for the defense, Bruce Smith, Vernon Butler, Ed Oliver, and Jerry Hughes are a below average front four. For the linebacker core, Tremaine Edmonds is good, but Tremaine Edmonds, here are his stats: 93 speed, that's okay, but AJ Klein and Matt Milano are pretty bad. And then corners, the Bills team corners are just awful. So yeah, this team is not very good. So for that reason, I'm gonna put the Bills as a C tier team. Next, we go to my Seahawks theme team. Now, I'm going to say this is an S tier. No, I'm just kidding. So, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. So, but for the team itself, let's talk about it. So, Russell Wilson, quarterback, definitely needs an upgrade. Hopefully, he gets one very soon. Sean Alexander and Amon Green are a good running back combo, but also you have Marshawn Lynch as well. Nick Bellore is not the greatest of top fullbacks. But receivers, though, are pretty great. Doug Baldwin, Brandon Marshall, DK Metcalf, all solid speed. Doug Baldwin has 98 speed and has great route running. Brandon Marshall is 97 speed. I think I did showcase Brandon Marshall, but in case not, here is Brandon Marshall. And then for DK Metcalf, come on, click on the button. There we go. DK Metcalf, 97 speed as well. You also have Tyler Lockett, who is also on 97 speed. So you can genuinely go 4 players deep into this team for speed and get 97 speed wide receivers. Tight ends, you got Charlie Young and Jimmy Graham, which are a good, solid tight end pairing. Offensive line, though, has definitely come a long way. Walter Jones is very, very good as a left tackle. In my opinion, he is the best offensive lineman in the entire game. Then you got Gabe Jackson, who we still need a left guard upgrade, but Gabe Jackson's okay. Kevin Mawai is pretty solid. And then, a couple of 89s with Brandon Shell and Mark Glowinski. So the offense is pretty good. Defensively, though, this team is a little bit on the lower half, especially for the cornerbacks, but we'll get there. Jadeveon Clowney is a good, solid pass rusher. Then you have Al Woods and Poona Ford as our two top rush DTs, as our top DTs. Carlos Dunlap and Frank Clark are really good. Don't get me wrong, they are really good for right ends. Then you got Kevin Pierre-Louis as left outside, then Bosworth as middle, and then Benson Mayowa as right outside linebacker. Cornerback, Shaquille Griffin is a good start, and then you have DJ Reed, who is 95 speed, which is not the best. I'm going to be straight up honest. And the fact that he's 5'9" doesn't help. And then you have Sidney Jones, which definitely doesn't help either. You also have Jamal Adams, who is also pretty great. 97 speed on a Jets theme team, on a Seahawks theme team. Has 96 zone coverage. Pretty solid card. Pretty good card. And you also have Cam Chancellor, who, again, every team gets, but he is a Seahawks player, so he will appear on the Seahawks lineup for this. Then you have Quandre Diggs for this Seahawks team. He just came out today. 97 speed, 98 zone. This card's pretty good, but he is 5'9", so be wary of that. But for the Seahawks team, I'm putting them in the lower half of B, probably around here. I think, once we get a quarterback upgrade, I think we'll be up in the A tier, in my personal opinion. Quarter and cornerback are definitely needed for this team. Almost shut down my OBS. Next, we move on to the Jets theme team. Now, the Jets, in my opinion, are the best. I did say the Raiders, but I forgot how good the Jets theme team was. Boomer Esiason, Chris R is a good quarterback, and then you got Chris Martin and LaDainian Tomlinson. Keyshawn Johnson, Robbie Anderson, Brandon Marshall, all big, all fast. 99 for Robbie, 98 for Keyshawn, 97 for Brandon Marshall. Tyler Croft is okay. Offensive line, though, is not the best. Actually, it's pretty good. You know, you got Mekhi Becton in here, but then you got Elijah Vera Tucker, Kevin Mawai, Greg Van Roten, and Kelvin Beckham Jr. Kelvin Beachum Jr., my bad. And then for the defense, John Franklin Myers is good rush, good left end. Then you got Quentin Williams and Sheldon Ratkins. But linebackers, and then you got Jason Taylor and John Abraham. But linebackers, though, are a little bit on the better, are very, very good. Jonathan Vilma, Kevin Pierre-Louis, and Weibler Marshall. Oh, there we go. Are all pretty solid. You also can get Ed Reed, too. Cornerbacks, Ty Law is a 99 speed corner on this team. Same with, and then Perry Nickerson. Aaron Glenn, like I mentioned earlier. But you also have Ronnie Lott. And then you have Jamal Adams, Marcus May, Ed Reed as well. So the Jets theme team, in my opinion, is a S-tier theme team. And then last but certainly not least, guys, and again, I appreciate everybody sticking through this video and hopefully you guys give it a like. I really do appreciate it. We have the New England Patriots theme team. So Cam Newton and Tom Brady, solid quarterbacks. You got LeGarrette Blount and Chris Martin as running back duo. Wide receivers, Antonio Brown, 97 speed, if I remember correctly. Antonio Brown, 97 speed. Brandon Cooks, 99. Randy Moss, 97. So 97, 97, and 99 speed. Gronk is a very good guard. Offensive line, pretty sweet. Isaiah Wynn. He got a much needed upgrade for the left tackle. John Hanna, David Andrews, Shaq Mason, Nate Solder. Offensively, this team is very good, but that doesn't compare to their defense. 97 Hakeem Hicks, 95 Will Fork, and 95 Richard Seymour are the best front four in the game, along with Willie McGinnis and Christian Barmore. Just tops. Linebacker core, Matthew Judon, again, like I talked about earlier, insanely cracked and insanely good. You got Chandler Jones, Teddy Bruschi, who I believe Teddy Bruschi is at 91 speed, so that's okay. Then you got Kyle Van Noy. For corners, you got Ty Law, J.C. Jackson, 98 speed on this team. Cordero Patterson, 98 speed. Delta O'Neal. You got some good corners on this team. Some of the best corners in the game. And then you got Adrian Phillips and Deron Harmon. I think I did showcase those. And then Rodney Harrison, I did not showcase them. So he's a strong safety that's also pretty bad. But if you could put him in user and then put Cam at free safety, a strong safety, that's also pretty sweet. That'd be ideal. Then you have Nick Folk kicker card, which is the best kicker in the game. So Patriots are an S-tier theme team as well. So with that being said, guys, that ends this almost 1.5 hour long video on the best theme teams in Madden 22. And I want to say again, straight up, no team belongs in the D tier, in my personal opinion. I truly believe that if you make the right, if you call the right plays and the right scheme, and you have the right abilities on your lineup, you can make any theme team work. Now, of course, I could be wrong, but I'm trying to be more of an optimistic person as well. But if you are a fan of these teams, these are what I recommend. These are the theme teams, how good they are for you this year. So if you're one of those players, like a Chicago Bears fan, maybe you don't make a Bears theme team if you get the game. Maybe you switch to like a Jets or a Kansas City Chiefs theme team. So that is going to be it, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. Hit the like button if you guys did. Subscribe if you guys are new. Again, hope you guys are having a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys at the after the holidays. Probably will come back. Because I plan to release this as my last video. I probably will come back like after the new year. Maybe I might make a video, make a couple of videos next week. But then after that, I'm probably not gonna upload to the new year consistently. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.